They were looking for 37 Pacific missing children. Each one had a name, a family, and a case file logged in the National Crime Database. For the families, every passing day was a nightmare. For law enforcement, it was a race against time. This wasn't a shot in the dark. It was a targeted, month-long mission called Operation Safe Return. A massive coalition of local, state, and federal agencies zeroed in on Riverside County, California, to bring these kids home. They successfully recovered all 37, but what they found along the way wasn't a simple, happy ending. It was the beginning of a much darker story, revealing the terrifying dangers these vulnerable kids faced while they were gone. It starts with the silence, the kind that hangs in a bedroom that's no longer used, the silence on a phone that doesn't ring anymore. For dozens of families, this silence was a constant agony. Their children, a mix of kids and young adults under 18, were gone. The reasons they went missing were varied. The official reports mentioned that the group included runaways and chronically missing youth, but law enforcement agencies don't just use labels. They look at risk. Many of these kids were classified as critically missing. So what does it actually mean? It means a child is in a situation that puts them at a high risk of violence, substance abuse, or sexual exploitation. These weren't just kids who left home. These were kids who were in immediate danger. Their names and cases were logged in the National Crime Information Center, or NCIC, just waiting for the right people to connect the dots. And that's exactly what this task force was assembled to do. When you have dozens of high-risk missing kids, you need more than a few detectives. You need a full-blown, coordinated response. Operation Safe Return was a U.S. Marshal-led initiative, but it was built on a foundation of teamwork. The California Department of Justice, under Attorney General Rob Bonta, threw its weight behind the effort. They joined forces with the legendary U.S. Marshal Service, the nation's experts in tracking fugitives. But the heart of the operation was on the ground. With the Riverside County Sheriff's Department and its specialized anti-human trafficking task force, they weren't alone. The team included the California Highway Patrol, the Riverside Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, and crucially, the Department of Public Social Services. This was just about finding kids and making arrests. It was about being ready for the complex needs of survivors from the moment they were found. For 1 month, this multi-agency team focused their efforts. They drove into the NCIC database armed with a list of 37 of the most at-risk children from their jurisdiction and started the hunt. The climax of Operation Safe Return wasn't one big dramatic raid, but a series of careful, deliberate recoveries. Over a period of several weeks, law enforcement teams moved in. The children weren't all in one place. They were found across a wide area, mostly in Southern California, in Riverside, San Bernardino, Los Angeles, and Orange counties. The search even extended to Northern California, and 2 of the children were located out of state, one in Arizona and one in Nevada. Each recovery was a critical moment. For the officers, it was a relief of closing a high-stakes case, a life reclaim. For the kids, it was a whirlwind of confusion, fear, and for many, the first steps out of a nightmare. This is where the planning really showed. Teams didn't just go in to make an arrest. They brought victim advocates, medical personnel, and social workers with them. The first priority wasn't an interrogation. It was safety and support. The children were given medical care, food, and a safe environment. They were spoken to by specialists trained to handle trauma, not as case files, but as survivors. The rescue was just the first step. The recovery had to begin immediately. The work done by these officers and advocates is incredible, but it shines a light on a problem that is often hidden in plain sight. Awareness is one of our best tools in the fight against exploitation. If you think this story is important, please hit the like button. It helps the channel and ensure more people see the reality of what these heroes are up against. Now let's get back to what they uncovered. With all 37 children located, the true horrifying picture started to come into focus. This was never just about finding runaways. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department confirmed that some of the recovered children were victims of truly terrible crimes. Official statements confirmed that some of the children were victims of child sex trafficking and sexual assault. Their vulnerability had been used against them in the worst way imaginable. The operation wasn't just about recovering victims, it was about finding perpetrators. 7 suspects were arrested in connection with the cases. Among those, the U.S. Marshal Service noted 1 significant federal arrest connected to child sex trafficking. While officials haven't released details on how large the criminal networks are, an arrest at the federal level suggests that this investigation is far from over and could lead to dismantling a much larger operation. The horrifying discovery isn't just that these kids were in danger, but the kind of danger they were in. The fact that trafficking and sexual assault were involved proves this was more than just kids being gone from home. As Governor Gavin Newsom stated, "I'm grateful to our law enforcement partners who work tirelessly to locate these missing children, support survivors of trafficking, and hold those responsible for harming our kids accountable." These 7 arrests were the first step towards that accountability. As the 37 young people began the long road to recovery, a completely different kind of problem was brewing online. A sensational rumor started spreading on social media, claiming that all 37 kids had been found locked in a single house of horrors in the city of Horrifying, California. The story went viral. It was dramatic, simple, and completely false. The Horrifying Police Department had to issue a public statement, debunking the claim, clarifying that no such residence in their city was involved in the operation at all. The truth was far more complex. With the children found scattered across multiple locations, the incident is a stark reminder to always rely on official sources, because misinformation can actively harm real investigations and cause needless panic. Meanwhile, the real work continued away from the keyboard. For the 37 survivors, recovery is a marathon, not a sprint. It involves therapy, medical care, and the slow process of healing and rebuilding. The Department of Public Social Services, a key part of the task force, is now helping lead the effort to provide these kids and their families with the resources they'll need. And the investigation is not over. The 7 arrests are just the beginning. Each suspect is a thread that investigators will pull to see how far the web of exploitation reaches. The fight is now moving from the field to the courtroom, where the battle for justice will unfold. Operation Safe Return is a powerful story of what happens when law enforcement agencies collaborate effectively. It is a story of dedication, skill, and the refusal to let missing children become just another statistic. 37 kids are safer because of this work. But it's also a stark warning. It confirms that child exploitation and trafficking aren't distant problems. They are happening right here in our own communities. While this operation was a huge success, it's clear the larger fight is far from over. The rescue of these 37 children is a major victory. But the discovery that some were victims of sex trafficking and assault leaves us with a heavy question. As the legal process for the 7 arrested suspects begins, what do y'all think is the right measure of justice for those who prey on vulnerable children? Let me know your thoughts in the comments respectfully. The fight against human trafficking requires constant vigilance from all of us. For more stories that go beyond the headlines, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And thank you all for watching. Grass won't wash away.